Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So this video is going to be a flip through of my 2024 reading journal. So you guys have seen this journal many times on this channel. You've seen pretty much every spread, to be honest, but this is going to be a whole flip through of every spread in this book except the monthly spreads from I think January to June, because I showed you guys those in my mid-year flip through. I don't want to bore you guys by going through it again, but I will quickly flip through them so you can see them. But if you want to see them in detail, you can go check that video out if you like. My resets, I also do all of my monthly spreads and show you guys the whole process and everything. But yeah, we're gonna go through every spread. My journal is pretty thick now. I didn't put anything really chunky on the pages, so I'm surprised it's that thick. But anywho, let's just get into it. So let's get into my reading journal. So firstly, this journal is from the Quirky Cup Collective. It was a little expensive, but I do love it. It's so beautiful. It definitely gives off reading journal vibes, and I'm only halfway through it, so I will be continuing it for 2025. But let's just get into it. So some of these spreads you will have seen in my mid-year flip through, but I will go over most of them. The only ones I won't go over will be the monthly reading journal spreads I already showed you guys, but everything else we will go through. So we have my beginning page, of course, and then we have the 2024, and then we have my library. So this is definitely one of my favorite spreads from this journal. I absolutely love how it turned out with all of the books colored in. I know there's obviously a lot of books that weren't colored in because I didn't read that many books, but that's okay, I don't mind. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite spreads. I'm always featuring it in my thumbnails and stuff. I'm definitely going to do a spread very similar to this next year. This spread was inspired by Katie's reading. A lot of my spreads are, but my one for 2025 I think will be a little more me, which I'm excited for. But yeah, I really love how this spread turned out, and there's no color coding or anything. I just did random colors that I thought would look good together. I also don't know how many books I actually put down here. I just did it randomly. We then have my reading tracker. So for this one, I colored in the boxes when I read a book, and they are color coded. So purple for romance, pink for fantasy, and blue for literary fiction. As you can see, I read mostly romance, and every fantasy one also had romance in it, very likely. So I'm a big romance reader, and I did want to read more fantasy this year and literary fiction. I don't think I really achieved that goal, but that's okay. But it is cool to see what genres I read the most in a graph this way. And I did read 71 books, so we got just up to the end, which 72 wasn't my goal for the year. We'll get into my goal a little later on, but kind of lucky I read just under 72 because then I didn't have to make a whole other reading tracker. And then we have my series tracker. So these are just all the series I was reading this year. I was continuing. I think I did pretty well with my series this year. I added on a few throughout the year, so I think these were the ones already written down, and I did okay in some of them. With the Kings of Sin, only 4 are out, so I've done pretty well there. Bergman Brothers, I think I read, how many did I read this year? Maybe just 1. Lachlan Feuds, I didn't continue the series. Dirty Blood, didn't continue the series. Dreamland Billionaires, I finished. Servant and Dove didn't continue. Throne of Glass didn't continue, and Plated Prisoner I read 2. And then all the others, most of them are done. So we had these 2 done. We have Chestnut Springs, I only read 1. Kingdom of the Wicked 2. Big Shots, Campus Games I finished, and then Vancouver Storms I finished. So I think we did alright this year. We then have the 24 books I wanted to read in 2024. I did make a mistake and write 20. I only read 3 books on this TBR, so I did terrible. I won't talk about these too much because I do have other videos where I talk about this TBR and stuff, but my 25 books I want to read in 2025 is out, and I talk a little about why I think I failed so much at this TBR, but I like the layout and stuff anyways, and anywho, we won't get too much into that. We then have my favorite books each month. So I was really happy with this spread most of the year. And then we got to September when I got in my slump. It got hard to put books in here because firstly in September I read 2 books. One of them I DNF, so I had to put this manga, and I definitely wouldn't say this is one of my favorite books. October I only read 4 books, and I put this here and I didn't even rate the book, but it was my favorite, I guess, out of the books I did read. And then November I only read manga again, and I didn't want to put another manga book, so I put a book from December. And this is also definitely not one of my favorite books, and the same for December. Travis is also not one of my favorite books. I did really really like these books, so I don't mind putting them here. I think I both rated them a 4.25 stars, but overall, I don't know. I'm not the happiest with this spread just because I didn't love these books a lot. Like 2 of them I didn't even rate because I was in a slump, so. But I think the rest are all books I really liked, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. We then have my books read in 2024 spread. So this is the Dutch store spread I have with all the books I read. I actually have 2 of these this year because I finished this one. So we have little pictures of the books I read with their rating, and then I would write down the books and who they're by and the rating on the side as well. I love looking at this, seeing all the little pictures. We have the same on this side, and then I did finish it. And then we have my reading goals for 2024, so we will take some of these off. Let me just find my pen. My book goal for this year was to read 150 books. I didn't do that, so that's a fail. That's okay. Read 3 memoirs. I did not read a single memoir. Also a fail. Read 2 classics. I did not read a classic. Read 1 mystery or thriller. I did not do. I was planning to do that in September, but I was in my slump, so I didn't do it. Read more manga and graphic novels. I definitely think I did. I read a lot of manga this year. Annotate more books. How many books did I annotate? I think like at least 5, so I think that's pretty good. Better than last year, I think. Use Kindle Unlimited more. I definitely did. I read quite a few books on there. DNF more as well. I DNF'd a lot this year. Utilize the library. Yes, I was at the library all the time borrowing books. Write more reviews. For this one, this is mainly reviews on like Instagram and Goodreads. I don't think I did many. I only did very short reviews, so I don't think I should tick that one. And then consistently use this journal, which I very much did. Oh, that was a really bad tick. I would update this journal frequently. I think I didn't do too bad, but some of these goals I'll definitely have to visit in 2025 and actually get to. Okay, we have my January spread, which I won't go over because I did talk about these spreads in my mid-year journal flip through, so we'll just skip January, February, and now we have my physical TBR spread. So I wrote down all of the books on my physical TBR and then colored them in once I read them. Honestly, not a big fan of this spread because it just looks really messy. Coloring in the books on top of the writing just makes it smudge. There's times where I was very messy. I don't like how this spread looks, and it looks like I've read hardly any of my TBR. And I think half of the books I read this year, so around 30, was physical books. So I feel like it should look like I read more, but I do have a big TBR. But anyways, I will continue filling this out next year, but I also don't like the colors I used. I think it is a really good idea. I don't think I demonstrated it very well. So now we have my rating tracker. So I tracked the rating I gave to each book I read this year. Some books I don't rate, but this is a very small graph, like a small amount that I took up. So I'm thinking of maybe continuing it next year with different colors or just making a new one because it looks very sad that it's just so small. Anywho, I really like this spread. I love the colors and the rainbow and how it turned out, and I like that there's more on the right side. We then have the books I bought and the books that I was gifted. So for books bought, this spread I did finish, and I do have a few more that I should have added, but I didn't have room obviously. And I also wrote whether I read the book, and I did read quite a few of them, which isn't too bad. And then books I was gifted, which also is a lot looking at it, which I'm very thankful for. We then have my anticipated read spread, which I did also show in my mid-year flip through. This is just from a reading vlog of books I was anticipated to read, ended up reading. This is one of my least favorite spreads, to be honest. I don't like how it turned out, but anywho, we have March. I think that was my biggest reading month. April. May. My checkmate spread, which this was one of my 5-star reads of the year, and I wanted to do a dedicated spread to a book I read because I thought it'd be fun, and I do like how it turned out. I'm not a big fan of this page, but I do like how the collage and everything turned out. I think it does look pretty cute, and I want to do more of these next year. Okay, I think this is the last month that I showed you guys. Oh, we do have my 5-star reads, which I did not have any more 5-star reads in the second half of the year. I will make another one of these spreads in 2025, make it look a lot better. I do not like how this looks at all. We then have my wrap up. What month is this for? June. My wrap up cottage for June. I don't think I showed this. Every month I'll do these little wrap up cottages at the end of the month to just show my stats and everything, how much I read. So you can see in the little doors that open, I read 4 books, the pages I read, the average rating, and the genres. This is definitely one of my favorite cottages I did. These take a really long time, but most of the time I'm happy with the result, and this was definitely one I'm most proud of. We then have my July spread, which I also really like. I think it looks very, very cute. I obviously went with a Miffy theme. I had Miffy stickers and I randomly was like, why don't I make my July spread Miffy since I have these stickers I can use. I followed the color scheme. I think it's very simple but very cute and easy to do, and I'm overall very happy with it. I then have the books I read, more books I read, the YouTube videos I uploaded that month, more YouTube videos I uploaded, and then we have the wrap up, which I'm also happy with this one. This one's like a beach seaside kind of cottage. I really like this one. We have this tool that shows some stats. We have these windows. Ooh, okay, we then have my August spread. This is definitely one of my favorites from the year. I love the colors. I love this like sticker cutout I did. This was very, very much inspired by Katie's reading, but I love this spread. Also, all the stickers I use, I just love. It's giving very like childish vibes, which I love, and also like fairy tale, whimsical. Absolutely love this spread so much, and I'm so happy with it. But this like little cutout doesn't do anything. We just have the full page underneath. We then have the books I read, more books, my uploads, and then we have my second books read in 2024 page. So I did not fill this one out, but I filled almost half of it, and then in here I just have them written down. I have some written down here as well. I like this one a lot better than the first one. I think the colors and the way it looks is a lot cuter. Yeah, I love looking at these spreads and just seeing pictures of all the books I've read. We then have my reading 1000 pages in a week for 1000 subscribers spread. So for hitting 1k, I made a YouTube video where I tried to read 1000 pages in a week. It is definitely one of my favorite videos I've done, and I wanted to do a little spread dedicated to it. So here I just wrote how I feel about hitting 1k, hitting that achievement, and then here I just wrote how many pages I read each day. Sorry if the camera's at a different angle now, the battery just died, but anyways, here I have photos of books I read in that reading vlog. If you lift them up, you can see this is supposed to be a waterfall card thing where you can pull it out and see all the pictures, but I couldn't get that to work, so I just kept it like this. Like I said, I really like this spread. It is kind of simple, but I do like it anyways. We then have my September spread. I do like this spread. It's not one of my favorites. I think I don't really like the colors, but I used a lot of these flower stickers I got from Etsy. This was the start of my slump, so as you can see, I didn't read a lot. I do like my title I did here. This is from the sticker pack, this little thing that was in it, and I just stuck it on the page. I painted a lot. I made these little flowers. I thought it was very whimsical, but yeah, like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the colors, but I did overall like it. We then have my TBR. This is the first time I like printed out the photos of my TBR, which was a bad idea because this was the first month where I didn't really read anything. And then this books read spread I also really went all out on. Usually I make them very plain, and I kind of did a lot for this one, and I like how that turned out. We then have my October spread. I just wanted to quickly do this spread for the books I did read in October while in my slump, which I don't like as much. I don't think I executed my idea very well. But then my wrap up, I did like how it turned out. I think it's very cute. I love the little button I did on the door and the window. We have windows that open. I really like this cottage. I like how most of my cottages are very different, but they kind of give the same vibe, if that makes sense. Oh, okay, we then have my last monthly spread of the year, which is December. So I did skip November because I didn't really read anything that month, but this is probably my favorite spread of the year. I love this spread so much. I think it's very me. I just love how it turned out. I obviously did like a bit of a gingham theme. I have this little tablecloth with this plate of donuts that say happy birthday because it was my birthday month, flowers, and a vase. This is inspired by a painting I did this year, and I also used color pencil to draw like flowers and stuff, and I did it in like a messy way because I thought it's really cute. Overall, love this spread, love the colors, love how it turned out. Yeah. We then have the books read. This spread is kind of cute, very boring though. I really need to change these spreads in the new year. I never like how my books read spread looks. So we then have the videos I uploaded in December, which I hadn't uploaded since September, so I kind of went all out. It was also like Bookmas, so I tried to post a lot of videos. But yeah, the spread's kind of cute, kind of plain, but I do like seeing the videos I did upload since I do have a book YouTube channel. It's nice to see the videos I uploaded in those months and stuff. We then have my favorite books in 2024. I don't know why this one is being difficult. like won't stay down. But I did this little book thing. So I stuck down obviously my favorite books, and then I made it so you can open and you can write stuff in it. I haven't written in them yet obviously, but I will at some point write what I liked about the books and my thoughts and stuff. But I like this spread. It's not one of my favorites. This line thing I did was supposed to be very different, and then it turned out kind of weird, and I kind of saved it a bit. But I like this spread a lot. It is a little annoying though, because like I have to make sure I hold them down when I close it so they don't like bend and stuff and crease. And then that's the last spread I did. I do have one more which I was supposed to do, and I'm only now realizing I didn't do it, but I was supposed to do a spread where I basically did all my stats for 2024, but I haven't gone to it yet, so I do apologize. But I have my 2025 reading journal set up coming very soon, and I will include that in that video. But I hope you guys enjoyed looking at my reading journal with me, looking at my wrap up. This is the first reading journal wrap up I've ever done of like a full year. Obviously I did the mid-year one, but this is the first time I've done one of a full year, and it's very fun to look back at all of them, seeing what the spreads fill out, seeing how my style changes. I feel like during the year my spreads definitely got better and I got more creative. I used different utensils like using pencil and stuff as well. Starting a reading journal is definitely one of the best decisions I've made when it comes to my reading journey. I think it really adds to my experience. If you want to start a reading journal, definitely start. I was very nervous when I wanted to start about making mistakes and stuff, but I'm obsessed with it now, of course, and I just love doing it. So I highly recommend starting a reading journal. Yeah, if you get any inspiration from my spreads or anything, let me know. You guys 100% can take inspiration from my spreads. I take a lot of inspiration from other people. If there's any spread ideas you have for me for next year, let me know and I might incorporate them. I'm always looking for new spreads to add. But I also have a book Instagram and a book TikTok you can check out if you like. I post on there all the time. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye!